Okay, good morning students. Okay, now today I'll be starting with the second chapter from the civics portion, which is executive. Okay, now as you're aware of it, in the previous video, that is in the previous classes, I've done up to the chapter legislative. Okay, so today I'll be starting with the second chapter of civics, which is the executive. Now, just a recap of what I had done in the previous chapter. Now, in the previous chapter, that is legislative, we have studied about the two houses of the Indian Union Parliament, which is the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Understood? Now, in this chapter, the executive, okay, as I've written here in the board itself, we're dealing with the three executive heads of India. Understood? Which is the President, the Vice President, and our Prime Minister. Understood? Now, before I start with, in India, we have two kinds of executive head. Understood? That is the real executive head and the nominal executive head. Now, in India, the real executive head. Now, the real executive head means the person who has got all the real and the actual powers, who is the most powerful, who is the representative of the entire country, the entire nation. He is the Prime Minister. Understood? Now, the nominal head. Nominal here means namesake power holder, which means he has powers, okay? He is powerful, but his powers are basically just for namesake. So here, that is the President of India. Now, along with the President of India, we'll also be studying about the Vice President of India. Clear? Because in the absence of the President, it is the Vice President who carries out all the duties and his responsibilities. So today I'll just be giving you a brief introduction of the chapter executive. So once again I repeat, in the chapter executive, we're studying about the two executive heads. The real executive head, the nominal executive head. Clear? Real executive head, which is the Prime Minister, as I already mentioned. The nominal head means namesake power holder, which means he enjoys powers. Clear? But basically, whatever he does, all the decisions, all the actions that he does is done only on the advice of the Prime Minister, which means he cannot take decisions entirely on his own. Clear? So here, now, the Prime Minister of India, he is the representative of the entire nation. He is the head of the country. He is the head of the government. He is considered to be the head of the government. Why? Because he leads the government. Because there are several ministers, which I'll come to it later, like the Council of Ministers, the Cabinet Ministers, who are all under the control of the Prime Minister. Clear? Whereas the President, he is considered to be the head of the state because he is also considered to be the first citizen of the country. Clear? The head of the state. Because in India, as you know, India is a republic. I hope everyone knows this. So India is a republic means India has an elected head of the state, which is the President. Clear? Whereas Prime Minister, he is the head of the government, he is the head of the entire country. Clear? So today, I'll be first starting with the President, who is just a nominal head. Nominal, as I mentioned, namesake power holder. Clear? So today, I'll just be telling you the qualifications required to be the President. Clear? His tenure means he is there for how many years? Clear? Then how is he elected? Either is elected directly by the people or either is elected indirectly by the people. Clear? Now, the qualifications are mentioned in your book also. For example, the first main important qualification is he has to be a citizen of India. Clear? The second qualification is he should be 35 years and above. The third qualification is he should be qualified to be a member of the Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha, as you know, in the previous chapter we've done, Lok Sabha is the lower house of the Union Parliament. Clear? So here, in order to become a president, these are the three qualifications, the three criteria, as we can say, required to be a president. Citizen of the country, clear? 35 years and above, then he should be qualified to be a member of the Lok Sabha. So these are the qualifications required to be the President of India. Now, when we come to term of office means for how long does he remain in office? He is actually elected for a tenure of 5 years. Means he remains in office for a full term, a full tenure of 5 years. But here there is one condition, that he can be re-elected. Means after he completes his full tenure of 5 years, he can be again re-elected for another 5 years. Clear? Then the president, clear, he can also be removed from his office, from his post, if he violates the rules and regulations of the Constitution. So here the term violate means to go against or to break the rules and regulations of the Constitution. Because as I think everyone knows it, that the Constitution in India is the supreme law of the land. Means no one can violate, no one can break, no one can go against the rules and regulations of the Constitution. Clear? So here, be it the president, be it the prime minister, if anyone tries to violate the rules and regulations, that person shall be severely punished. So similarly here, if the president tries to violate, break, go against the rules and regulations of the Constitution, he can be removed from his post. So therefore, this 5-year tenure which he enjoys is not a fixed tenure. Why? Because he can be removed. There are other several grounds on which he can be removed. One is violation or going against or breaking of the rules and regulations, especially of our Constitution. Because as I said, our Indian Constitution is the supreme law of the land. Supreme means the highest law of the land, where every one of us, we have to abide by the rules and regulations of the Constitution. Clear? So this is regarding the term, the tenure of the president. Then we come to election. Clear? Now here, please remember that in India, the president is not elected directly by the people. Means we common ordinary citizens, we cannot directly choose or we cannot directly vote for the president. Why? Because here the election is done indirectly. Now here the question is, indirectly who elects the president? Clear? So here we have a committee. Clear? And that committee is known as an electoral college. Understood? So this electoral college, actually they are the ones who elect or who choose the president. Now here again, the question is, who are the members of this electoral college? Now here, the electoral college comprises of members of Lok Sabha, understood? Members of Rajya Sabha, along with the MPs and MLAs of the state. Understood? MLAs, that is the member of this legislative assembly. Clear? So here, election, indirect. Indirectly who elects him? Electoral college. Who are members of electoral college? Members of parliament, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, along with MLAs, members of the legislative assembly. So they are the ones who actually elect the president. That is why presidential election is considered to be indirect. Clear? If we were supposed to elect the president, then it would be direct election. Understood? So since here people are not involved in the election, so his election is considered to be indirect. Then I come to impeachment. Impeachment means, we've done this in the previous chapter also, we had come across this. Impeachment means it's a process. Clear? But this process is considered to be very, very difficult. Now this impeachment process, especially there when the top ranking officers are removed from their post. For example, president can be impeached, prime minister, clear? Judges of the High Court, Supreme Court, they can be removed only through the process of impeachment. Why? Because this process of impeachment is very difficult and a very complicated procedure. Why? Because these are the top ranking officers who cannot be easily removed from their post. Clear? So here too, the president, he can be removed, but only through the process of impeachment. And how can he be impeached? By 2/3 majority of both houses of Parliament. How is he impeached, or when he is impeached? When he is impeached when he is found violating, as I said earlier, violating means breaking the rules and regulations of the Constitution. Clear? Then he can also be removed if he shows any kind of misconduct or any kind of misbehavior. Clear? Now, who can impeach him? 2/3 members of Lok Sabha, 2/3 members of Rajya Sabha. If 2/3 majority of both houses give their approval, then the president can be impeached or removed from his post. Clear? So today, president, I've covered 4 topics: his qualification, his tenure, how is he elected, and his impeachment procedure. Clear? So the next class I'll be doing with the powers and functions of the President of India. Okay? So thank you, class.